So I've gone pretty public on this channel about my I wouldn't say hate, but my dislike for a lot of the new MCU movies. I'm going to be honest here. There really hasn't been that many that I liked. Of course, I really liked Spider-Man No Way Home. I thought No Way Home really fixed the MCU's version of Peter Parker, and I think definitely dragged him from being probably the worst so far to definitely being in contention now with a couple of the other ones. I mean, No Way Home is definitely a really good movie that faced a lot of what makes Peter Parker a really good Spider-Man. You've got that going on for you, and then you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie, which I thought was really good as well. And one of the other movies that I surprisingly thought was pretty solid, one of the only other ones that I actually liked, that I know a lot of people might disagree with me on this, was actually Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness. I genuinely believe the reason a lot of people definitely dislike that movie is just because it was kind of hyped up to have legitimately everyone and their dad in it, and when they didn't see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, etc., I think a lot of people just didn't like it. But the fact is, the movie is pretty solid, especially if we're going to take into account the directing. Some of the more horror aspects definitely added a different flavor into the MCU that really made it stand out to me than the really, I think, comedy that has just been so bland and so, I mean, people would call it woke comedy. It almost feels like that, especially in TV shows like She-Hulk and in Ant-Man and the Quantumania or whatever it was called. Oh god, that was a terrible movie. But again, a lot has been going on for the MCU where it's been facing a lot of criticism as of late. But the reason I'm talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is because it was recently just confirmed that Doctor Strange 3 will officially be in the works at Marvel. It's being said that Production Weekly has confirmed that Doctor Strange 3 is officially in development at Marvel Studios. The film will explain how Stephen Strange is one of the multiverse's biggest threats, aside from the Council of Kangs being a direct cause of many incursions. It will also serve as a direct preamble to the upcoming Avengers films. Now, that's really interesting to me, first and foremost, because this kind of confirms that it's going to be coming out before Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, which is just really weird because we know Kang Dynasty, I think, is expected to come out in 2026, which, let's be honest here, that doesn't seem realistic with how they're considering saying that the Spider-Man 4 movie will also come out before the Avengers movie. It just seems like they're going to have to release a lot of movies in a very short amount of time, and that could definitely hurt box office success. It could do a lot of different things that just probably wouldn't be overall that good for the film. And again, before I get into more of that, there is also a report here that says Thor 5 is reportedly also in the works, with Taika Waititi returning as the director. According to the Love and Thunder, the official movie special book, Thor 5 is confirmed to be already in development, with director Taika Waititi coming back. Waititi's previously directed two Thor sequels, Ragnarok and Love and Thunder. He revealed that the villain for this fifth movie will also be more powerful than Hela. Now again, a lot to take into that as well. First of all, Ragnarok, in my opinion, is one of the best MCU movies. I'm a very big fan of Ragnarok. I think it is the only good Thor movie. I think the first Thor movie is decent. The second one, to this day, I've truly never seen the whole movie. It's just, I get kind of bored. There's not a whole lot going on with it. It's so irrelevant and not important. It's just no point. And then you got, of course, Love and Thunder, which is definitely one of the worst movies in the MCU. It's probably not as bad as the new Ant-Man movie, but it's definitely, I think, top 5 worst MCU movies, if not possibly nearly top 3. Again, there were a lot of issues with it. Taika Waititi really saying that, I think he even admitted that he definitely took this one way too comedic central. It just didn't really work right, in my opinion. The Thor Ragnarok movie had a lot of comedy aspects into it, but it was much more toned down to this Love and Thunder movie, and the jokes in that movie were actually quite funny. I mean, I think we can all get a little, be honest, we got a little giggle when Thor first said that Hulk was a friend from work. When that line came up, and that wasn't even written by a writer. I mean, if you know, that was written by a kid who I think unfortunately was very sick, but got to go to the Ragnarok set that day and see what was going on. He actually recommended Chris Hemsworth the line, and they used that in the movie. Again, that brilliant line was literally written by a kid and not a writer. So it just shows that, look, there definitely needs to be a change for this Thor 5 sequel. There has been interviews where Chris Hemsworth has literally gone on to say that for him to return to a Thor sequel, it would need to be a lot more, I think, a lot more mature than this really, really, seemed G-rated woke comedy version that was just so bad. I don't really like to use the term woke comedy, but goddamn, Thor Love and Thunder had some absolute crappy-ass comedy in there that some of the jokes, I wouldn't say were really that woke. I mean, they really weren't anything like that and do it, but you get what I mean. It was very, very bad like that, and I feel like if we're going to see a Thor 5, it's got to be interesting, I mean, I think Chris Hemsworth definitely deserves to be the first MCU character to probably have 2 trilogies. I think that's really, really obvious. I mean, he's the, I think, first and only MCU character to have 4 movies, which is kind of crazy to think, but again, considering he's one of the staples of the MCU and he was a lot younger than a couple of the other actors when he got cast, it makes sense. Again, I genuinely believe if Thor 5 is good, he could be the first one to not only have a 4th movie, to not only have a 5th movie, but he might get a trilogy before anyone even gets a 5th movie, really. So I definitely feel like he deserves it. I hope the movie will be good and a lot more mature than what we have previously seen. And in terms of Doctor Strange, I think that's pretty obvious that's probably going to be a relatively good movie. I really do hope they get Sam Raimi to direct it, although there are a lot of rumors going around right now that Sam Raimi is actually going to be directing Avengers Secret Wars, which I think is a brilliant idea. I truly do think Sam Raimi is one of the best directors in the world. His original Spider-Man trilogy, I very much liked. And I also, again, I might be one of the minority here, but I thought his take on Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness, was actually a really good version. So, again, if he was to direct Avengers Secret Wars, which he'd obviously have to start filming pretty soon, you would think he might only have time to film 1 movie in before that movie comes out. So you might think, yeah, Doctor Strange 3. But again, there has been rumors and talks that he actually might be directing Spider-Man 4, especially considering John Watts has really taken a step back from Marvel. He was going to be the original director for Fantastic Four. He, of course, pulled out for that. I think now that we're out of that teenage movies of Peter Parker and it's no longer a high school movie series anymore, but a new trilogy is going to be about college, I really do think that Sam Raimi would be a much better suited director, and if the rumors that he is doing it are true, he should definitely be doing that instead of John Watts. But again, in a realistic world, would it be better if he did Spider-Man 4 or Doctor Strange 3? It'd be awesome if he did both. But yeah, it just really does seem like if he's going to be doing Spider-Man 4, like the rumors do say, who's going to be doing this Doctor Strange movie? That's what I might be a little bit scared about. Again, this one is not going to go to its roots, clearly, of what the original Doctor Strange was. This one seems like it's going to take a much more multiversal aspect to it. I don't know what they're going to be talking about. Maybe it connects with the Loki show or something like that. Kang obviously got a mention in this little article. I'm not exactly too sure. There's a lot to definitely think about with this, and I would very much like to hear what you guys think they should do about this down below. Should they, of course, do a new Doctor Strange movie, a new Thor movie, and how should they, of course, go about doing it? I would very much like to know. Don't forget to subscribe to my IRL/vlogging channel and my sports channel. Links for them will be in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.